shimmy shum bum, shimmy shum bum. Got to get ourselves in the mode, in the attitude, guys. We have to. It's part of the plan. Here we are, sure old Grandpa Peter Coyote coming to you once again here from Crestone, Colorado in the United States of America, the People's Republic of Earth. We own it, babies. It's ours. Well, she owns us. We're hers. But anyway, here's to all of that. And a whole bunch of love to all the rest of you rascals out there that ain't quite figured it out. God, you know, there's a lot of drama in this life. For example, you know, God, there's been all these bombings and shit this week, and it just, oh man. But look at this. Look at this. Man alive. I know you can't see this whole thing all at once because it's kind of light. But this is a beautiful hunk of walking stick that somebody just up and has given me. It just came out of the blue skies, kind of. And notice how it fits my hand so well. You know, it's one of those little gifts that is something like a universal treasure. It's an old piece of wood, been laying around in the forest for probably 300, 400, 500 years. You know, seen a lot of history pass by itself and refused to rot. And then a really good friend of mine back there in Georgia, Alabama, Arizona, someplace like that, gets a hold of it. You know, it just calls to her when she's walking through the woods one day. It's time for it to reassociate with its old buddy. But she don't know that. She just feels a call that says, come pick up this stick. And she does. And she takes it home and they look at it, and her and her man, and he gets the whittling on it and fixes it up with a nice little spiral and a really sweet coat of clear varnish, you know, so it'll hold up and look rich and carry a good energy, feel pure inside itself, because that's what it is. And then they sent it to me. They blessed it, of course, and then sent it to me. I was so amazed when I opened the mail. Talk about drama, baby. And here's this big long package. I didn't order anything like that. What the heck is that? And man, I opened this thing up, and I just feel the love pouring out of it. Maybe you can too. Here, I'll give you a little shot of it off the tail end there, you know? Yeah. You see, these things, I've had a walking stick for years now. That came to me when I was living in the ranch in southern Oregon, and I've done ceremonies, all kinds of things with that stick. But this stick is a regeneration of old energies. This represents some transformation in my life, a critical turning point, a key place. New energies coming in to supplant and replace the old and expand upon them. You know, we never throw anything away. We use it as a basis to launch from, to keep on going, to build from, or however you wish to describe that. But nothing's invaluable. Every bit of experience is very worthy, and, you know, it's good to hang on to that little bit you need that brings you on up to the next level so you can build on it, you know. So this is like a turning point for the old man. This funny little piece of wood that came to me from out of the clear blue sky, kind of, from some really gracious hearts who know how to listen and hear the elemental energies. You know, people think about angels, and they think of them as these invisible beings that you call on when you're in times of need and distress, and they'll help you through it. Drama. Well, you know, those angelic energies love to help out at times like that, and it's a good thing to call on them, but, you know, they're not all high and fluffy puffy. and living on the clouds and playing harps the way they're portrayed in some people's legends. For example, there's angels that come to you in the form of a stick. There's angels that come to you in the form of a dog. Now, I just lost an old soul companion that I'd known since way back. But she was a dog in this life, and I knew there was a clear connection between us, a very close one. And I really loved the animal too, and this fact that she had, you know, a little coyote blood in her helped a lot too, you know. I'm kind of partial to them things, you know. I know everybody else hates them. I love them. But there's that little soul sister lying there dying. Finally, the life wore her out. And I tried, and she tried, to get her to stay, to help the old body heal. But it just didn't want to do that. It was time for this ancient soul to move on to another dispensation and another line of work for a bit, more or less, though it's always the same. And as she's laying there dying, and I'm sharing some energy with her, and we're reminiscing and remembering some of the times we've lived, she reveals her soul to me. And it's this really noble and ancient old soul that's been with me for many generations now, and in this lifetime came back to me at least twice as little dog helpers in this lifetime. And you don't realize this stuff when you're living with these animals or these friends or these people or these things. But if you open up, and there's moments of closeness where truth can be portrayed and you don't have to live in the illusion, you can let it go, then you start to see things like that. And it was perfect that at the end of her long little life that she was willing and able to share that information with me, that energy, that vision, that truth. And I could see where this same noble being had been with me through much experience, many lifetimes, in various and different forms, not always as a dog. You'll find that as you start rediscovering your truth, that there are beings and energies, souls that you know, that work with you in each and every lifetime you've ever lived. It flows through the thread. That is the thread of time. Energies and souls in the mystical dance. Come apart for a while, come together for a while, do some interesting things and part. Come back together, you know, and there might be 3,000 years in that little part. Or it might be 35 minutes. It's funny how that goes. But ancient old souls keep coming back to you. 'Cause you're an ancient old soul. And you need the help along, because when you come into this life, you dumb down quickly. You lose everything. And everybody becomes a little Mr. Magoo stumbling around in the darkness, yet lucking out quite often and coming out of it all right. So even in dying, there's some living to be had. You know, treat your animals well, treat your friends and neighbors well, your enemies even better, as much as you can anyway. I know we're all limited. But treat them well, because you never know who might be living inside of that little carcass that's giving you such a bad time right now, or such a good time. You just want to be as real with people and animals and plants and birds and bears and all the rest of it as you can possibly be. And no harm will ever come to you when you're completely respectful of all nature. But even more than this, when you realize the connection, then you're able to hang out with the wild animals in the wilderness and have no fear. because they only bless you. You know, it's the human that brings up the hunger in the animal. And if you're not feeding them on fear, guess what? You're feeding them on blessings of love, and that's what they're here to receive and share with you too. It runs through all of nature. Angels everywhere. The elementals, baby, they are hot and they are helpful. You may not always see them, but they're there. We've got some hot springs nearby here. Got little water angels in it. Magic. Help you feel a whole lot better. Clean up, purify, detoxify yourself while you're soaking in a little bit of hot spring. Awesome thing to do, by the way. If there's one near you, check it out. Go do it. We all need the R&R and the rejuvenation. I don't care how enlightened you are, how much energy you got. You need it? Go get it. Okay, so we see these things threading in and out of our lives, these energies, these beings. We start to understand then how interconnected and how noble all of our interconnected beings are. That everyone is serving in a noble position, even the lowest, scummiest criminal you can think of, like a politician or something, you know? Everybody has that nobility. They would not allow themselves to endure the bullshit they go through, we go through, if there wasn't nobility in it. We wouldn't do it. It's a very noble thing to allow yourself to be humbled to the point that you can be controlled by others, that conditions around you can change instantly, and you find yourself surrounded with mayhem and down to basic survival and you really don't feel worthy or able, things like that. That's a pretty noble life to be living through. If you can allow yourself to be that stupefied, that dumbed down, and to go through the agony and experience of powerlessness, disconnection, removal, alone, empty. That's a hard place to be. But it's a good place of being from your noble side. It grows tremendously to see and hear and experience itself going through such things. And ain't that amazing? God, babies, I love you. You just rock and roll. Everyone then is a noble soul. And this true information is coming forward. I'm not just a addle old man rattling off in the darkness. But in another way I am. That's my powerlessness, huh? Yeah. But we're learning and growing and gaining it all back. And you'll find magical little elements like this beautiful walking stick coming into your life too as things change and improve for you. There's always symbolism in the change. There's always something there to accompany you through the change. And often it's one of these ancient souls we've been talking about. So babies, just hang in there. I know it's wild and woolly and there's some major truths that have to come out in some pretty gnarly ways. The fact that your own government betrays you right and left. These are rogue elements in our government, but they're in control. And they're killing people heartlessly for the purpose of control. Truth is coming out. These people are being found out. Babies, we may yet have to endure a few more ugly moments in order for the truth to come forward. But this is what's happening now. That's why times are getting so desperate for those that hold positions of military and political power. that paradigm is finished. And it knows it. And it's starting to panic and grab for more and more control. And it's heartless. Or seems to be. The truth of that is coming forward, people. And you got to stay loving as this truth comes forward. Understanding. Because if you can see it happening in yourself, then you can see it happening in others. Understanding how circumstances can often dictate to you when you're in a powerless place. And then when you feel powerless, the natural trend in many people's journey is to reach for power. And to sell their soul to get it, if they have to. But they don't think they have a soul anyway. So what are they selling? Nothing. But in this way do you become a controlled being, and there are those even more sinister that just keep pulling you in deeper, and pretty soon you really are a soulless being who can execute orders without thinking about them and execute people without heart or soul. It happens. But that is the old paradigm. Those ways are changing as we begin to realize our interconnectedness. And by the way, it's the interconnectivity that brings the truth forward. Because people can't lie. When you're connected and you feel and experience this connection with everything, that's the age of truth right there. Nothing can be hidden when you know you're one with all and all is one within you. When that is your reality. And yeah, babies, it's hard to conceive of, yet it feels as right as rain, as natural as anything that's happening in everything. We are love, pure and simple. And we've chosen some pretty difficult and dark paths for ourselves. Doesn't make it any less loving. To go there, do that, live that, some of the most difficult bullshit you ever could imagine for a person to be going through. It isn't easy at the top. It isn't easy at the bottom. It's a little easier in between, but not much. Babies, you rock and roll. We're here to change the soul by allowing the heart to be free inside of us once again. But first, got to know it's been trapped. Got to know how these thoughts inside of you have been reorganized. You got to see this stuff. Don't be afraid of the truth, inside or outside, because it's coming. Truckloads and truckloads of it. Boatloads, plane loads, aircraft carrier loads. The biggest things you can imagine loads. It's coming, baby. It's here. It's now. And it's not easy. I mean, I have my difficulty with it too. But through that difficulty, I've been realizing how darkly I respond to some things in my life. How much I've fed the darkness that way, you know. Fed its fearful perspectives. Give them ventilation too, so it wasn't all bad. Nothing is. But it's helped. You know, truth. Don't be afraid of the truth. Come forward inside of yourself. Receive the blessings of this journey now. You've paid the price of endurance. Why not open up and let it come? And you know it's not riches or silver or gold or fancy cars or new airplanes, though those are sweet too. You know it's not that you're needing. What you're needing is to live this love. To know that you are connected. And not just know, but experience in every moment that you live the connectivity that is with everything else within. And the joy of that experience, no matter what form it's taken. That's what we need, all of us. That's what we're coming back together with because that is our true history that's been hidden from us. And even that truth's going to be revealed today. Babies, this old grandpa loves your heart and soul. So do the angels and the ancestors and the beings of the brotherhood, and all of the star family, and all of the energy family, and all of the power family, and all of the dust of creation. Everything here, no matter what form it's taken, is pure and simple in love with your tiny little hiney, or big fat balloony, whatever it happened to be. Because we are the love they've been waiting for. We've gone underground for a very long time, and we're about to surface now. Can't you feel it? Bumping against your tiny little head? I sure can. Well, babies, I hope that's entertained you enough for the moment. Keep on rocking and rolling. Here's a little blessing of energy for your soul now. And I know your heart loves it. Babies, we are gathered as one, with our roots in the sky, and our feet on the planet that's made out of granite, that isn't hard. One of the most warm, loving, I can't shut up, one of the most warm, loving, and caring beings you've ever seen. This Mother Earth of ours. Ain't she sweet? May you realize this. And all of us grow because of it. Catch you in a while, babies. We are stars. We are